Hello everyone, welcome to Intelle Learn, your ultimate source for learning. Our today's topic is array, so let's start with array in C programming. Array in C programming. The first question comes in mind, what is an array in C? Here's the definition for you. An array is a collection of elements of the same data type stored in contiguous memory allocations. Array allows you to store, manipulate multiple values under a single name, making it easier to work with the collection of similar data items. In simple words, we can say it as an array is a variable which stores more than one value of similar data type, that is known as same data type. Variable stores a single value, whereas in array it stores a multiple values. Next one, what are the features of arrays? All elements in an array must have the same data type. Example is int, float and char, integer, float and character. The size of an array is fixed and must be specified when the array is declared. So in simple words, there must be a fixed size of an array in C programming. You must define the size of an array, how many values you are going to store inside this array. Array indexing starts from 0, meaning the first element at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. So what do you mean by index? Index is nothing but the position of an element where your element is going to be stored. Here your first element is going to be stored in the array index number 0. The last element will be stored in size -1. So that's the formula for it which we are going to use. Index number starts from 0 and your first element always stores in the 0th index. What is the types of array? There are 3 types of arrays in C programming. First one is one-dimensional array, second one is two-dimensional array, and third one is multi-dimensional array. So first one-dimensional array. This is the syntax of a single dimensional array where you can store multiple values in a single array variable. Syntax is data type, so data type of the array followed by the array name. Here you can give the name same as it's like the variable rules, right? We give the rules to the variable, same goes for the array name as well. And third one is the size, how many values you are going to store inside a array is stored with the help of the size, right? This is the syntax of an array. Next one, the example of an array where we are storing 5 values. Okay, as you can see here, data type of an array is integer. It means that you can store integer type of values inside a array. So name of the array is numbers. So size of an array is 5. It means that you can store up to 5 values inside this array. To store multiple values inside an array, what we use curly braces. Within curly braces, each element is separated by a comma, as you can see here, right? Each element is separated by a comma and at last semicolon has been taken place. As I already told you about index number, right? So array index number starts from 0. It means that your first element will be stored inside the index number 0. Printf function is used to display the output on the screen. As you already know, we have written here numbers at index number 0. So number which is at index 0, so which is the first element, which is 10. So output displayed here is 10. So array is nothing but a variable which stores multiple values of similar data type, right? So all values have a similar data type, which is integer data type within itself, right? So array is a variable which store multiple values of a same data type. So next one, let's talk about two-dimensional arrays. So basically in two-dimensional arrays we are going to take 2 sizes. Okay, so these 2 sizes will depends on the rows and columns. So basically it stores data in rows and columns, that is like a matrix, right? So syntax is in front of you, data type followed by the array name. So here we are going to give 2 sizes, right? 2 size, right? So first one will be for rows and second one will be for columns. Okay, so syntax is in front of you, as you can see here. So data type, array name, next one is rows, and then comes with columns. So example, so this is the example which is in front of you. Int is the data type which is used for the array matrix. We can create 2 rows and 3 columns. So size of rows is 2 and size of columns is 3, right? Within the curly braces, we have created more 2 curly braces. These curly braces identify it as rows. Okay, so each row consists of multiple columns, right? So first row is containing multiple columns, as you can see here, and second row consists of more 3 columns. So I have to display the fifth value somewhat, or let's say I have to display a second value, right? So I have to display the number element 2, so which is from the first row and second column. So I am using the index number here again. So printf %d matrix 1 2, so output is 6, right? So what's the reason behind it? As I already told you, array index starts from 0, right? So first row will be counted as 0th row, which is 0 index number, and afterwards here comes the first row. Okay, that is the second row, right? And next one, column consists of 3, starts from 0, ends with n minus 1. N stands for size minus 1, right? So how many rows are there? What is the size of the rows? 2. Starts from 0, ends with 1. Size of the columns is 3, right? So index number starts from 0, ends with 2. Clear? So this is the output which is in front of you, which is the first index number. First index number means second row. So we have came into the second row, right? And next one is column, which is second index number, which is the third column. So our value is 6, which is the output which is in front of you. So this is all about 2-dimensional array. So let's move on towards multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array, you can call it as a 3-dimensional array as well. So let's check about it as well. So here basically we declare 3 sizes which is in front of you. All 3 types of arrays have the same syntaxes, but the difference is nothing but the size. Single dimensional array consists of a single size. Multi-dimensional array consists of 2 sizes. First size is represented as rows and second size is represented as columns, and third one, it consists of 3 sizes, right? So basically it is also used to store the values in itself. So how to declare an array and how to initialize an array? So I will let you know in simple way. It's like you are storing multiple values in a single variable, right? You are storing multiple values in a single variable. To store multiple values in a single variable, we need to take input from the user. So will you write scanf for 10 times 20 times to store the input? Of course not. So for this we are using the loops concept, which will take multiple inputs from the user and store it in an array, and then with the help of the looping statements as well, it will display the output on the screen. So let's get started. So first one is declaration without initialization. So what does it actually mean? Here we have declared an array which is of size 5. It means that we can store 5 integer values inside it. So the elements contain garbage values until explicitly initialized. It means that we have declared only an array which is of size 5. We will store the values in the further one, right? We will store the value by taking the input from the user. So this is nothing but declaration without initialization. Here we have declared an array without initializing it, without storing any single element inside an array. So second one, which you already got to know, declaration with initialization. So there are two forms in it. First form is you have already declared the size and then you have stored the values. Okay. Second one is it is an undefined array. So undefined array is known as an array having no size. So basically, if you have declared an undefined array, you need to initialize the values at the start. After initializing the values, then it will become an defined array by itself. Example, you have declared the values array as undefined, right? So you need to initialize values then and there itself in C programming language. So 1, 2, 3 values are stored. So the size has become 3. So the 3 size will be assigned to the values array. Okay. So this is declaration with initialization. So as you can see here, in without initialization we haven't given any values, we have just declared an array. And whereas in initialization, what it is happening, we are just storing the values inside an array. Okay. Next one, accessing array elements. So how to access array elements? Right now I told you, right, it's about index numbers. So to access array elements in C programming, we use index. So syntax of an accessing array index. So it's like array name followed by its index number. So as I already told you, index number starts from 0. The first element will be stored in the index number 0 and the last element will be stored in the index number n-1, which is nothing but size -1. So this is the example which is in front of you. So here we have declared a array variable named numbers, which stores 3 values which are of data type integer. So right now I have to display the first value. What I have to display? I have to display the first element. For that I need to use the index number 0 because first element is stored inside the index number 0. Now I have to, what I have to display? I have to display the second element. For that we have used the index number 1, right? So output is in front of you. First element is 10, second element is 20. So with the help of array index numbers, we have accessed these array elements. Okay, so let's move on towards the next one, traversing array elements. So traversing means basically we are going to take multiple inputs and going to display the outputs with the help of the looping statements. So let's see how it goes. See, use loops to iterate through the elements of an array. So basically it's like if you want to store 5 values inside a single array, instead of using your input function scanf function for 5 times, we will use a loop. What we will use? We will use a loop which will be executed 5 times, which will be repeated 5 times. Inside that for loop, inside that loop, what we are going to do? We are going to use the input function, and to display it as well, we are going to use looping statements inside which we are going to use the output function. So let's see how it actually works, how it actually looks like. So it is in front of you. So first we have declared an array which is known as numbers, which consists of 5 values stored inside it. So we have used for loop, initialized its value from 0 because array index starts from 0. That's why for loop must also be started with 0, same. So I is less than 5, right? Starts from 0, ends with n-1. So it's like size is 5, 5 minus 1, 4. So that's why we have used here less than symbol, which is the relational operator used in C programming, followed by update, which is increment and decrement operator. So we have used the output function inside it, which is the printf function. So to display the output on the screen, we have used the format specifier. So first format specifier displays the index number I. So it's like element 0. Then comes the %d, which will display the array index using accessing the array elements using array index. So my first element is stored inside the array index 0. So it's like number 1, right? As the for loop gets increased one by one, as the for loop gets increased one by one, it will display each and every array element inside it. Okay, so output is in front of you. Element 0, element 1 2, element 2 3, element 3 4, element 4 5, and so on. Okay, so basically, to take multiple input from the user and to display multiple output to the user, okay, of an array, so we are using looping statements in C programming, which is basically the for loop, which you already know, right? So let's move on towards the further one. So key points to remember. So what are the key points? So array have a fixed size and cannot be resized dynamically. So as I already told you, when you declare an array, it must have a fixed size. You cannot declare an array without any size. It means that you cannot declare an undefined array unless you initialize the value then and there by itself. So if you have to declare an array, it must have a fixed size then and there itself. Next one, array bounds are not checked in C. So accessing out of bound indices can lead to undefined behavior. So basically it's like, let's say your array size is 5. So array size is 5. So index number starts from 0 and ends with 4, right? So first element is stored inside the index number 0 and it ends with the index number 4. But let's say you are trying to access, you are trying to store a value out of its size, out of its bound. So let's say the size is 5 and right now you are storing the index, you are storing the value inside the index number 6. So size is 5, right? So it starts from 0, ends with 4. But you are storing the value which is at index number 6. So basically it's out of its bound, right? You got to know, right? So it's like size is 5, it starts from 0, ends with 4. It's about index numbers. So you need to carefully understand about what is an index number, how it is actually letting us know how it is accessing the elements. In simple words, index, with the help of the index, we are storing the values inside the index, inside the array. So first element is stored inside the array index 0 and the last element is stored inside the array index size minus 1. So this is the formula, size minus 1. Okay, so last point is arrays are often used with loops for traversal and manipulation. So arrays are often used with loops for traversal and manipulation. It means that to take multiple inputs from the user, to take multiple outputs from the user, we use looping statements. Okay, as I already mentioned in the last slide, in the previous slides as well, to take multiple inputs from the user, to display multiple outputs to the user from the array, we used looping statements, which is the for loop. So that's it for today. So if you have any doubts, please let me know in the next section. Please comment us if you have any doubts. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for the further videos and the further updates. Thank you.